Should Pittsburgh make the playoffs? Like in terms of, is it going to be a large-scale call-ups or anything like that?
Not necessarily large-scale call-ups. You know, again, that's something I think that it's a little bit. It's tough to make predictions on it from Pittsburgh's management on down, because right now they have players on their roster that can play and are expected to be back. So a lot of it's going to depend on where those guys are at and how quickly they're going to be able to recover. Now, will they at this point, the way it sits, does it look like they're going to need a player or two? Yes, just for depth on their team. So that's expected, but it may not be a lot of guys, or it may not be anyone at all, depending on what happens with Letang and Aaron for Pullman.
Do you expect that you'll have to hold some guys out this weekend in anticipation of perhaps being called out? Like if I'm watching the game online Sunday, players X, Y, and Z aren't in the lineup, and there's no sort of announcement about it, I can sort of draw my own conclusions.
Yeah, possibly. But I mean, the other thing too right now is, we're not going to get into a situation where it's about resting guys. I mean, for us, the next 5 games are very important because, one thing that we have talked about is that it's important for us to be playing the right way leading into the playoffs, and that's something that you want to make sure. Now, can we get to 3-3? Does it make sense to play everyone all that time? Well, if you have an opportunity to do it, and you also want to keep guys fresh. So if we have a large number of guys, we believe depth is going to be important, as we've always talked about in the playoff runs, and it's important to make everyone feel important and part of it. So that could be the reason why some guys sit, but I don't anticipate it being, sitting 4 or 5 guys for anticipation of calls. I think if anything happens, it'll be later.
Do you feel like these last 5 games, I know you said you want to be playing well going into the playoffs, but does it give you some leeway to maybe experiment with different combinations and things like that? Or do you not want to get involved in that?
Yeah, I think we've done a lot of that throughout the year. Right now, it's really fine-tuning, having guys feel good about their game, having guys feel good about their line mates, and not necessarily, you don't want to change much. Right now, throughout the year, we've done a lot of that. So, we know some combinations that maybe we're not using right now that we did like. But our focus is really going to be on making sure that our habits, our details, and our style of play and our belief and confidence in the individual player and in our team is ready to go.
This is sort of on that same subject. Murray has the 12 shutouts and the league record's 13. Is that something as a coach that you'd like to help him, if you can, get?
Yeah, it's not something that we focus on. I think as a coach, anytime players put themselves in positions to be able to have some success, absolutely you want to do it. That's part of what we do. But it's not going to be something that we try to set up or do. I think if it happens, it's going to be great for Matt and for our team. But would it be nice for him to be able to accomplish that? Absolutely. Is it going to be a focal point of our team? I think he's going to get some games here down the stretch, and hopefully has an opportunity to be able to get that done.
If there's a 0 up with 5 minutes left, I bet you it'll become a focus of your team.
Yeah, for sure. If it's something like that, I mean, that's human nature, and I think it's, that's part of being on a good team and guys that care about each other. And I think, you can see even at the end of some of these games here with this shutout, there's some urgency there, and guys are talking about it, and that's nice. That's what you want, that type of camaraderie and care that guys have for each other.
When they gave up that goal in Binghamton,
yeah, they weren't. Yeah,
the body language was like it was a game-winning goal.
Yeah,
Are there any injury updates for the weekend against Portland?
Yeah,
Shiri, we're planning on him playing. I'd leave him a day-to-day right now because I haven't talked to the trainers yet, but he's going to be on the trip and expected to play.
What about any of the other guys?
Those guys won't be ready.
Okay, and then for Portland, what will be the challenge going on the road for those 2 games against Portland? What challenges do they bring?
Well, one, we've had 2 real tough games against them. I think they have a very good team. They're tight defensively. They're stingy. I think when you look at how they've played as of late, they have a good mix of guys, and they've played solid. And they're a team that's really, they're making a push to make sure that they get themselves not only in the playoffs but stay in for seeding. So it's going to be a competitive weekend, tight checking, not a lot of time and space on the ice, and we're going to have to make sure we're ready to play a real hard game.
Do you know yet what you're going to do with the goalies for the 2 games?
We're going to split them because it's a 7 and a 3. Which game, I'm not sure yet. Who's going to play which game?
And the final thing I just have is about 13 straight years of making the playoffs. What does that mean for this organization?
Well, it's definitely a sense of pride. I think to be able to do that in professional sports, really speaks volumes about the type of teams that are put together here, but more importantly, the players. I think when you look at the one constant, there's always 20, 25 guys in there that have to go through the trials and tribulations of the regular season, and we take a lot of pride in it. It's something we talk about from day one of training camp. into now. So really proud of the players. Really think it's something as an organization you want to take a lot of pride in. It's not easy to get to the regular season, to get through the regular season to the postseason. So great for our tradition, great for our players, and that's part of being a Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguin, is making sure that you have a lot of character and pride in what you do, and try to find a way to compete for the Calder Cup.
Thank you.